Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of our D&D playthrough The Mystery of RockWish, a 5th edition 5e homebrewed story written by our editor, Mecha King Leo. We're going to start the video with answers we received from the last video's question.
First up is Dick Marchinko, who loves devils and makes them all lawful planers, taking away their ability to lie. He has good reasoning, as off-rip I'd never trust a devil. I've seen AI. Guys' videos, they are trouble.
We got Shadow Emblem describing a sorcerer his DM created for their campaign. A sorcerer with an elemental shield on at all times with a high AC, damaging the enemy was dependent on what shield was active, switching between fire and ice. The DM got creative by placing swords of each respective element to help damage the sorcerer, but did a clever take on it, having the players only be able to wield one sword at a time. As if they picked up the other sword, the current sword in possession would return to its starting location. That could absolutely add to the fight, as you're going to have your players rush back and forth. That's what's amazing about D&D. The creativity is only limited to your own mind, and even then there's so many sources online and such communities that create amazing monsters to battle.
He next is Psycho Gamrus 8391, whose favorite monster is a very popular creature that's been floating around the D&D community for years now, created by Arnold K. Goblin Punch. He talks about the frightening and disturbing false Hydra. It honestly made me happy to see this comment. That's one of my favorite monsters as well. We first heard of it through Dungeon Dad and his Monster of the Week series. You guys should check him out.
Why does that creature sound so familiar? Ouch, my head hurts thinking about where I've heard it from. Moving on, we got Mr. Brazga, who usually creates his own monsters but does enjoy the dragon, especially a black dragon. They remind him of his old days playing Heroes of Might and Magic. The game looks pretty cool, not gonna lie.
I want to go again. We have Giuseppe0729, who says his favorite creature is the basic red dragon. Hey, that's part of who I am. Good choose, my dude.
We got Papa Moose 99 next, who brings up an unofficial monster, the Bagman. And after a Google search, we found a stat block off-world anvil, and holy cow, that thing looks frightening. Mecha, throw a pic of it on screen. That thing looks horrifying, and its ability to regenerate 10 health on each of its turns along with its attacks and abilities. This is definitely a scary monster to face. Best of luck to your players as he plans to bring it to his Dragons of Icespire Peak campaign.
We got Glitch Ghost 1285 with another comment claiming he loves the beast category of monsters. He enjoys the giant spider due to arachnophobia, and we get it, Mecha was terrified of spiders until one huge tarantula was next to his PS2 one morning as a child. He was young and dumb and thought the spider would damage his game console, and that was his beloved possession, so he punched the shit out of the spider. Aside from the nasty guts on his hands, he broke the fear right then and there. Ghost also brings up dinosaurs, and oh boy, that sounds like fun. Actually, a primal Far Cry like D&D campaign does sound fun, honestly. Having one as a pet or campaign would be a dream come true for most kids who grew up learning and studying dinosaurs, and let's be honest, that was a lot of us.
Finally, we got Sharkbait Studios 3400.
Sharkbait hoo ha ha.
Okay, he brings up loving dragons, but also enjoying more horror-based creatures such as mind flayers and beholders. The eyeballs from the big fight with Mayor are spectators, actually, which are like smaller beholders. I agree that aberrations are really cool. Most of them make good enemies, since for the most part aberrations are purely evil. Not all of them, but most.
Thanks, guys, for covering this part. If you would like to have your answers featured in a video, make sure to comment. We can't guarantee it, as we add these in after the scripts are done, but you never know. This next question is going to be more of a which side are you on? Traditionally in D&D, a critical hit has you roll 2 of your weapon's damage die and you add the total for damage. This, however, does bring forth the chance of rolling 2 ones, making the critical attack almost just a regular attack. We know some people enjoy the challenge, and we respect that. We prefer to have 1 dice be the max damage, since rolling a nat 20 is no easy feat. It's purely luck based, and the other dice be rolled. That way you're at least doing more damage than you would had you rolled a successful attack and rolled max damage on the 1 dice. But let us know which side you choose. It won't affect this campaign. We're more curious what players and DMs think about this topic. Before we get into the story, I'll give a brief recap of the events so far. In our last session, the party was able to make it to the mines and began their trek through its center in search of Mayor's Rock, along with his eccentric friend.
Oh snap, I forgot we're looking for his friend. I just thought we were looking for his rock.
Wait, we're here for a rock? That makes more sense than what I thought.
I'm terrified to ask, but what did you think we were here for, Joey?
I thought we were here to face our fears and gain courage.
Joe, that's Taz's side quest. Still not the worst thing to get confused about.
During their journey down below, the gang ran into an issue when they realized they had been walking in circles for about an hour. They were able to light the true way forward and have activated blue glowing gems. Blinded by an intense blue light, we begin our session. If you guys are ready, we can jump right on in.
Let's do this, Ben. I'm sure the people are eager to see what's next, especially after last session's short episode.
Right, you are Bush. We return back to the party, currently being enveloped in a bright blue light. It completely engulfs the whole gang, and then it all starts to subside. The light starts to fade away, and before you all there is a town.
Whoa, guys, are we floating?
Yes, it appears we are. What's more shocking is that we're also transparent.
Boo. I'm a ghost now.
I don't think it's anything like that, Jar or you. Do you guys see that town down there? It looks really familiar.
Wait, that's RockWish.
The light now completely gone, you all float before the town of RockWish, but it's different. While all the buildings and landmarks are correct, you realize the town is surrounded by a completely different landscape. There's fields of lush green and orchards filled with various fruits, some of whom you have never seen. A sudden force pushes you all closer to the town, past Catalina's shop, through the back doors into the clearing you all rescued Catalina from, and recruited the kobolds, and before you, a scene unfolds.
Does anyone else have a bad feeling about this, and not just because of the spooky ambience?
Mayor can be seen standing over the body of a dead Catalina. Her body is lacking any color. The marks of multiple stab wounds can be seen around her body. Surrounding her, you see the bodies of Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, all slain with their throats having been slit open.
Oh no, my boys.
No. Catalina, what happened here?
Horrified, Mayor holds the body of his dead wife in his arms. As tears stream down his face, his heart is clearly torn in two. He looks at his wife's neck and notices the necklace that holds her part of the meteor is missing, and his grimace becomes even more hopeless than before. Before he can even collect himself, a huge explosion comes from the center of the town. Mayor gasps.
What's happening now?
He pulls himself together as best as he can and retrieves Catalina's body. He pulls out a scroll and a magic yellow circle begins to appear, and in an instant, he's teleported to his office where he places her body gently on his office bed. He then bolts out of his office, heading outside to get to the bottom of the commotion. His heart pounding in his chest, his face stricken with both sadness and confusion. As he steps outside, he hears dozens of RockWishians crying and yelling in terror. From the town center, another explosion echoes through the village with many more cats fleeing for their lives from its direction.
Oh no, my poor kitties.
Mayor starts to cup his hand together and bellows out a loud command so all his villagers could hear.
Everyone make haste to the mayor's hall. I'll handle the danger.
The RockWishians listen promptly to their courageous leader and all begin to head to the mayor's hall. Mayor himself continues forward to the center of the town where the festival is located. Upon his arrival, he witnesses a disturbing sight. The four Devour Nothics are running rampant in the festival, destroying food stands and decorations alike. But worst of all, several RockWish inhabitants lay dead at their feet, one Nothic in the middle of consuming a RockWishian. A pack of death dogs also causing trouble. In the midst of it all stands Tom with a squad of 4 kitty paladins, all matching in armor sets, much like Tom's. These are other members of the Knights of the Bright Order.
No, my kitties, you damn demons. Take care, Tom. These monsters won't hold back.
Yes, sir. Thomas and his family are defending the inner village areas. Several zombies appeared near the town's fountain and made their way into the village. We haven't been able to make contact with Thomas with a Spanish accent and the monastery.
We'll have to hope they are okay and deal with these monsters.
Mayor roars like a lion and goes in for an assault on the Nothics, but as the battle seems to begin, the world goes dark and you remain floating in this space.
What the hell did we just witness? This didn't happen?
How could this happen? We were there, though. We fought the zombies first, didn't we, Jaryu?
My poor little kobolds, how could anyone do that to those sweet boys?
We definitely fought the zombies first, Skull Smasher. We even fought alongside Mayor against the Nothics, and we saved Catalina.
This makes no sense. What did we just see? A vision? Not just that, but RockWish isn't located there. When I set off on my journey to find this village, I had to venture into the Badlands and deep into them. It was difficult to even find a scoutmaster willing to help me get close to RockWish's supposed location.
That's a good point. I mean, do any of you, other than Brock, remember how you arrived here?
Not really, but I was having memory problems to begin with. The only thing I remember was drinking in a rundown tavern close to the Badlands. I had just finished a hunting quest and was celebrating with some drinks, trying to see if I could remember anything from my past, but no dice. Then a woman with a huge rack approached me and got me drinks for once. Anyway, she was spewing nonsense about a wish and a festival, I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention to what she was saying. Then it got black. That's the last thing I remember. Then I woke up in RockWish with another bump on my head.
I was just wandering the Badlands for God knows how long, and I stumbled at a tavern in the middle of it all. I thought it was weird, but paid no mind to it. When I entered, there wasn't anybody there except for a cloak-masked bartender and Mayor. He looked extremely depressed, like he'd just lost everything, but when they noticed my arrival, they both perked up. After a few drinks and some banter, Mayor offered me a job to play at the festival.
Suddenly, you guys are all brought forth to another scene. It's the grim aftermath of the previous battle. While the 4 Nothics are slain along with the death dogs and various zombies, the RockWishians have also suffered greatly, with several civilians now lying dead. More notably, 2 of the 5 paladin cats from Tom's squad have perished, with Tom looking to have taken a good beating but still standing strong. Thomas is there as well with several of his cat brethren. The festival grounds are in total disarray with several buildings in town in shambles.
My poor kitties. Thomas, Tom, have you seen where Thomas with the Spanish accent is? How's the monastery doing?
We have not seen him, Mayor. Look at this destruction. This is bad. Where is Catalina?
At the question, Mayor breaks down in tears and sadly informs Tom of her passing. Thomas overhears and is also as shocked as Tom. Worried about Thomas with a Spanish accent, all three of the cats rush to the monastery of the sun. They all dash as fast as they can and arrive to a destroyed temple with no signs of life present. The three cats all search and scan through the rubble to see if any cats may have survived. As they begin their search, they hear a rumbling from the ground. Shaking everything around, then a bright light starts to glow immensely from the rubble, and from it rises Thomas with a Spanish accent and what appears to be several of his fellow monks, more notably all the kitty monks in training and the elder monks. Thomas, with a Spanish accent, pushes off the huge piece of rubble he is holding up, in his form completely encased in light with golden wings sprouting from his being. His eyes are a brilliant white, and after securing the safety of his fellow monks, the light around him diminishes and his wounds become clear and visible. He stares at Mayor and his tomcat brothers and he utters,
I can see my parents.
Thomas, with a Spanish accent, collapses before everyone, the light from his eyes fading away as a peaceful expression covers his visage. The tomcats are visibly saddened by the death of their fellow tomcat. Though they were not brothers in the traditional sense, the very fact that they were all born on the same day and each named a variation of Tom bonded them together. Mayor is on his knees in distress as he muttered,
First Catalina, now Thomas with a Spanish accent, and all of the RockWish citizens that succumbed to this battle, how many more must perish? Boys, we must find Catalina's rock to fix all this.
The mayor pulls out his half of the meteor rock and it begins to shine bright, and a signal light shoots out from it leading towards the other half of the rock.
Let's get going, boys. Have any of the remaining warriors to head towards City Hall and defend the citizens. I fear this is only the beginning.
The world fades to black and we open to a new scene in the mine shaft with the mayor looking beaten and bloody as he approaches a dark figure. No features can be seen from this mysterious character.
I don't know how to stop this, how to fix this. Ursus, I don't know if this will work or if this will mean the end of us all. Anything is better than what's going on now. Please, hold on to the rock.
The dark figure accepts the rock from Mayor, and you can tell he's responding to Mayor and telling him something, but forces above our control are preventing you all from hearing it. After receiving the stone from Mayor, the figure begins to crystallize, and within time the figure is fully encased in a light green crystal.
Thank you, old friend. I don't know when you'll be freed, but if you are, please help those that freed you, for they are our best chance to save everyone.
Those final words echo throughout each and every one of you here. A sense of duty and hope washes over you all. The story isn't exactly clear, but one thing is, Mayor is asking for help. You guys remain floating in utter darkness.
Such sorrow, such destruction. Guys, I don't like all the imagery of the dead RockWishians.
Brock, do you have any idea what's going on? I'm so confused here and sad. Thomas gave his life to save what he could of his fellow kitty monks.
Maybe we just witnessed events that could have happened. Maybe if we hadn't all converged into RockWish, this is the end result.
So many theories, but we're not getting closer to any answers. Ben, I'll push the walkie-talkie to bring forth the deity.
Bush, as George pushes the button on his walkie-talkie, the world freezes along with your party members, and from the walkie appears the deity looking solemn and stressed, almost as if he too is shaken up by what he just witnessed.
Crap, I rolled an 8. Okay, let's see what we get. Ben, I turn to the deity and ask him what just occurred. Were these visions of the past of another version of events?
The deity just stares back at you silently. Then he answers, You are correct and yet you are not. The things we witnessed didn't necessarily happen and yet they did. They have yet to transpire, but yet they already have. You wish to know the truth, but wishes themselves carry such weight to them. As much as we like to believe only good of heart people obtain wishes, that isn't always the case. With those words, the deity looks at you, knowing it has fully answered your question, and you feel a sense of sadness as if the deity wishes to tell you more but can't for one reason or another.
No, damn it. Don't go just yet. I want to know everything. Ben, I'll push the button again. I got a 12 that's better than 8. Please tell me more of what's going on.
Yes, it is, but the DC for that information was high to begin with, and you attempting it again made the check even higher. So sadly, Bush, you don't pass, and the deity simply states before he utters his final words, It was a good attempt, but you're going to have to keep moving forward to find out. And with that, you hear a slap and a crack as the deity dissipates again into nothing, and the world goes back to normal with time unfreezing.
Damn it. I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't able to get any answers from the deity. All I got was a riddle, which was pretty vague. This is what it said. Ben, I'll repeat the poem to the gang. Do I have to recite the whole thing? I mean, they were in the room here with us when you recited it.
Yeah, we'll do a fade to black. Essentially, it just saves time for the sake of moving the story forward. In this case, we'll fade to black as George recites the riddle back to the party.
It's okay, George. We never really expected the rock to give us any answers. Still wish we could hear it talk.
That riddle in itself is so vague, it's almost like it's starting to happen. It could happen. or it will happen. Either way, it doesn't seem like we're going to find out much more. Really, we need to figure out how to get out of here.
I'm starting to get uneasy from the floating also. Where is Taz?
You guys all look around but have just now realized Taz was not with you guys right now.
Oh shit, where did he go?
Okay, maybe now we panic. I was so captivated by the scene before us, I didn't even notice his absence.
The space around you all begins to warp as you all begin to glow brighter and brighter.
Oh shit, here we go again.
I'm way too young to be blind.
The light gets too bright and you all reappear in the same blue-colored gem cave as before, except this time the color from the gems has escaped and been replaced by a sickly red. But before you all could comment or even react to the gems changing, you all spot Taz, with wings sprouting from the back of his body, illuminating in the same way it was in the previous visions. But surrounding him lay the bodies of cultists and the remains of shadows themselves. It seems while you all were on this vision quest, Taz was left behind, and he wasn't alone.
No, Taz. Are you okay?
No response comes from Taz, at least not right away. He stumbles to turn around, and that's when you notice that he's not looking good. He's taken a beating and is bleeding from his head, gut, and parts of his legs.
You guys are okay. I was so worried.
Taz collapses from his injuries. He isn't dead yet. He's not looking good. While I won't be rolling his death-saving dice just yet, he can't help you for this next part. As after he collapses, you all see 5 cultists with 3 shadows looming over them. They stare at you and all draw their weapons. The shadows themselves dissolve in the darkness. You are unable to see them move. As for the cultists, they begin to rush the party. Everyone roll for initiative.
I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not letting them kill Taz. Ben, I rolled an unnatural 20.
No tomcat shall fall while I'm here. Ben, I rolled a total of 17. I'm going to gut the cultists for hurting our cat.
We've already witnessed Taz dying once. It's not going to happen again. Ben, I got a 19 total.
Fuck, I wanted to say a cool line too, but I rolled a 7 flat. I'll blame the cultist for this.
Okay, for this battle, the enemies will be split into 2 groups, the cultist and the shadows. The cultists rolled an 11 total, while the shadows rolled a 6, and they had advantage due to the cave's darkness. The combat will start with George, then Brock, following will be Skullsmasher. Then the cultists will attack with Jaryu following suit, and will end the combat with the shadows going at the end. Be careful, guys, you have no buffs, but you all did get the bonus of a long rest while on the vision quest. But was it really a blessing?
What do you mean by that, Ben?
Since this is considered a long rest, I'll re-roll my dice for Porton. These are my results, Ben. Share them with the viewers.
If you guys survive this, more answers will be revealed. Nice rolls, Bush. For now, get ready for battle.
I'm first up, and Ben, I had a question. When I use the walkie-talkie of fate, what can I do while the world is frozen? I understand I can use it to ask the deity anything, and depending on the roll decides how effective the answer will be. What I want to do is activate it and possibly move Taz closer to us for safety.
Ah, yes, well, you actually can do that, Bush. While the world is frozen, you're able to move, but only you. That being said, you can drag and move things. You simply cannot cast magic spells while the world is frozen. As essentially you are inviting the deity into this domain and no magic can be used from you while it's present. The roll will simply result in how much time you have to do such actions. This will count as our bonus action though, Bush.
That's fine, Ben. I'll activate my walkie-talkie. As the world freezes, I'll look at the deity and say, just keep the world frozen for a bit. I'm going to save Taz.
No response comes from the deity. He simply nods and pulls out an hourglass almost as if it's timing you.
Smart-ass, Ben. I'll move to Taz and move him behind us. This will take up all my movement.
Roll a strength check to see if you succeed.
Sweet, I rolled an 18 and I was worried I was going to have to use my Porton.
You successfully get Taz to safety, and the moment you relocate Taz to a new spot behind y'all, the world unfreezes, and as everything returns to normal. The cultists are all shocked by the fact that Taz's body was moved so quickly. They are dumbfounded. What more will you do, Bush?
Oh, that's easy. I'm going to cast Chromatic Orb at 2nd level at the nearest cultist to us. I rolled an 18 total, Ben. That better hit.
Oh, for sure it does. Go ahead and roll damage.
Hell yeah, I rolled 12 total damage and rolled 2 3s. So I'm going to bounce the orb off this cultist and hit his buddy right there next to him. I rolled a 24 to hit, so I'll roll damage. I'm dealing 10 damage to this cultist, but I rolled 3 2s this time, so I'm going to have the orb blast another cultist. This time I rolled a 17. Does that hit?
It hits for sure. Damn, you're just blasting these cultists.
The last blast will be dealing 9 total damage, all fire damage, Ben, as I haven't switched its damage type.
Okay, well, how would you like to do this? You literally wiped out 3 of the 5 cultists.
Hell yeah, okay, I got this. After saving Taz from any more damage, I turned back to face the cultist, angered that my favorite of the tomcats has been beaten, and with the memory of having seen a possible death freshly in my mind. I clap my hands together, opening them both to produce a chromatic orb engulfed in fire. The flames expressing my inner rage, I leave the orb in my right palm as I aim for the first cultist and blast it. The orb propels forward at breakneck speed, the fire burns bright, and as it connects with the first cultist, it burns right through him, leaving only the bottom of his torso left. It continues to its next target, blasting right through its center, the orb losing mass from the first attack, but still leaving a huge gaping hole in the second cultist. His body clumps forward lifeless. Finally, the orb lands on its final target, blasting and igniting the body, engulfing it in flames. The screams of the cultist last only for a few seconds before his body collapses lifeless on the ground, charred black, covered in ash.
That was simply brutal. Good going, George.
I can only do one more of those at level 2. I probably should have held back, but I can't let them get away with hurting Taz.
Amazing move, Bush. On the final impact of the chromatic orb, the light from the flames exposed one of the shadows lurking amongst the cultists, causing it to move to another location. Obama, it's your turn now.
I'll activate my Fairy Morania for 1 health, giving my melee attacks 2 and ranged attacks 1 to damage. Since we can't see where the shadows are located just yet, I'll draw forth 2 psychic blades and I'll throw one at the cultist still remaining on the right. I rolled a 14 to hit. Does that land, Ben?
Yeah, your attack lands. Roll for damage.
Shoot, I rolled a 2 with +3 for a total of 5 damage. I'm going to use my bonus action and throw another psychic blade at the same cultist. Sweet, I rolled a 19 plus 5 for 24 total. I'll go ahead and roll damage. I rolled a 6 total for damage. I'm pretty sure that's going to take care of that cultist.
Right, you are Obama. How would you like to do it?
My first blade will have landed near his neck, just barely missing the carotid artery before he can even react. The second psychic blade's hits, and this time successfully severing his internal carotid artery, but due to psychic blades leaving no trace of a cut as the blades disappear from existence. The blood fills his mouth and pours out from it. He slumps over lifeless, blood now pooling around him. I say to the party, he looks pretty choked up to see us.
I think he's dead, Brock. I approve. It sucks that there's only one left, but it'll do. Ben, I'll begin to rush the remaining cultists. I'll use up my bonus action while running at the cultists in rage. Skull Smasher will yell out, "Nobody attacks my cat monk." Once I'm in front of the cultists, I'll reckless attack. Thank goodness I had advantage on that dice roll due to reckless attack. My first roll was an 8 total, but my second roll is a 23 total. Time to roll for damage. I bet you I'm going to split this guy open. Hell yeah. I rolled an 8 for damage plus 5 from my strength and rage for a total of 13 damage, but it being a reckless attack, and I'm in rage, I get to roll an extra 2d6 to add to the damage. Damn, I got snake eyes, making it 15 total damage on the cultist.
Damn, guys, y'all just obliterated the cultist. Good shit, go ahead and narrate it. Donald, you killed this guy. Since all the current cultists are taken out, I can share their stats. Their AC is 12 with only 9 HP.
These puny enemies are no match for us. Ben, I, Donald Skull Smasher, the greatest half-orc, half-dwarf barbarian that has ever lived, raise my great axe with such fluidity. It looks like I'm lifting a paperweight, while the cultist gawks in awe of my massive muscles and the aura radiating from my intimidating presence. As easily as I lift my axe, I bring it down swiftly with all my strength and anger pouring through my muscles. As it connects with the cultist, it tears him apart down the middle flesh, and blood spewing out as his short-lived screams are cut to a deathly silence, with only the sound of blood and entrails falling to the floor. What remains of the cultist simply slumps and drops to floor with a sickening slosh.
He's rambling again.
Aside from glazing yourself rather deeply, good kill, Donald.
Bro, you glazed yourself more than I do my daily briskets, and I lather those bitches up with a shit ton of sauce, my guy.
Since all the cultists have been slain before they even got a turn, it's your move now, Joe. What will Jerry do?
Well, I know the shadows are hiding in the dark recesses of the cave. So Ben, I want to hold my action for my fire breath. I want to use it the moment the shadows come into view, and use an action I want to hit the closest one possible wherever it may be.
Okay, sounds good, Joe. It's now the shadows' turn. All 3 shadows will emerge from the darkness. One emerges 15 feet in front of George. The other shadow appears directly in front of Skull Smasher, while the third and final shadow appears 15 feet in front of Jaryu.
Ben, as I see the shadow appear in front of me, I immediately unleash my fire breath. It's going to need a dex save of 10 or take full damage.
It takes the full blast. The shadow rolled an 8 total.
Hell yeah, I deal 8 damage total.
Actually, the shadows have resistance to fire damage, so it only does 4 damage. The shadow barely even acknowledges the flame breath.
Well, that sucks.
All 3 shadows begin to expand and grow to twice their size, their presence now towering over you guys. They begin to hum, and from the center of each shadow appear 3 cultists.
What the heck, the shadows are also portals.
Perfect, now I can get more kills. I'm not happy with the current scoreboard.
Ben, do they get to go immediately now since they were summoned?
No, they will roll, but will be split up into 3 different groups. Okay, so I got a 16, 11, and a nat 1 for the cultist. We're at the top of the round again, guys. Bush, it's your turn.
Sounds good, partner. Ben, I'm going to start my turn by blasting the cultist closest to me with a firebolt. I rolled a 15 total, and I'm dealing. Hell yeah, 9 damage. Ben, I'm going to then use my wand of mini missiles, and I'll use up 3 charges and aim at the cultist next to the one I just attacked. Yes, I rolled 3 per missile, dealing a total of 9 damage to the second cultist.
Nice move, Bush.
Way to go, buddy.
Shit, George is at 5 total kills now.
Bush, your firebolt launches from your hand and leaves the cultist charred and blackened from the attack, ending his life. The second cultist then follows suit and gets blasted by 3 mini-missiles, and only the lower part of his torso remains as it slumps over dead. Obama, it's now your turn.
Those shadows are going to be a problem. The cultists may be weak, all things considered, but if we don't do something about those shadows, more and more will just come through. Joe, are you?
What's up, my rogue?
On your turn, heal up Taz. Shadows are only weak to radiant damage. He could make quick work of the shadows.
We will do Brock.
With that out of the way, then I'll manifest 2 psychic daggers in my hands. I'm going to throw them at the shadow for my attack action and my bonus action. We need to get rid of them. I fear they'll just keep summoning cultists. Okay, so for my first roll, I got an 18 plus 5 for a 23 total, but sadly for my second dice roll, I got a 6 plus 5 for a total of 11. Does the second hit Ben?
It doesn't, but you're in luck you get advantage on your attack since it's double its regular size.
Sweet, I got a 9 plus 5 for a 14 total.
That hits roll damage, but the shadow has resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. So bear that in mind when you do damage calculations.
That's fine. Does it have resistance to psychic damage? Pause, that's what these blades deal.
Actually, no. Alright, the shadow will be taking full damage from your blades.
For my first attack, the shadow will be taking 9 total damage, and for my second attack, it takes an additional 8 damage for a total of 17 psychic damage.
Good turn, Obama. You were able to deal a good amount of damage as the shadow takes both your psychic blade attacks and its form begins to falter. The cultists gathered around the shadow look surprised to see the shadow weakening. It is now your turn, Donald.
I don't care if that shadow has resistance, I'm going to cut it. Ben, I'll charge into the middle of the cultist so I can attack the shadow. I'll be using reckless attack, I'm not missing Ben. I got a nat 20, Ben. Thank goodness I had an advantage. My first roll was a 5.
Nice, man. Go ahead and roll damage. You'll get max roll on 1 dice. Roll the second one for the bonus damage.
I'm also going to use the savage attack feat that I've been ignoring this entire time. This allows me to roll an additional weapon dice and add it to the damage whenever I land a critical attack. I rolled a 7 and a 5. Let me add up all the damage here.
If you need a calculator, I got one here.
I got this. Bush, my mathematical prowess is far superior to a machine. It's 12 from the max roll plus 7 and 5 from my other 2 rolls, adding my strength modifier and my rage modifier together of 5 equals 29. But I'm not done yet. Due to using reckless attack, I get to add another 2d6 of damage. That's another 10 damage, making a total of 39 damage to the shadow.
That's a brutal attack, Donnie. Nice.
Good shit, Donald. Even with resistance bringing the damage down to 20 rounded up, you're still able to finish of the living shadow. How do you want to do it?
Skull Smasher will grab his blade, and with all my might I go for a brutal attack on the shadow logic thrown out the window. My blade will cut this thing down. As my great axe slashes across the shadow's body, it stays split as it slowly disappears into nothing. But I'm not done yet. I'll continue the swing and use my weapon mastery to cleave the cultist right next to the shadow. I rolled a 23 total. For damage, I rolled a 5 with no ability modifier as per Cleave's rules, but I'll add plus 2 from my rage and a total of 7 more from frenzy, dealing 14 damage to the cultist, thus ending its life altogether. Right, Ben?
Correct, Trump. All that checks out. Holy cow, my guy, you're up to 3 kills now, and one of them was the shadow through brute force, mind you. Your attack, even with resistance, was so strong you almost dealt its total HP and damage. The cultist slumps over dead, a huge gash across his chest splits out blood. It's the first group of cultists' turn, and they both stare at you angrily, Donald.
Bring it, you cowards.
Both cultists lunge towards you, each drawing their ceremonial daggers and going for attacks on you, Donald. The first cultist rolls an 18 total and lands their attack on you, Donald, slashing at you with its dagger, dealing a total of 4 damage, brought down to 2 due to your rage. The second cultist just barely gets you, rolling a 15 and dealing 6 damage, brought down to 3.
I stare back at the cultist after their attacks, and I simply say I'm going to make pelts out of you all.
Well, that's unsettling.
Your words leave the cultists shook. Next up is the group of cultists still standing. All 3 of them will rush towards Skull Smasher. All 3 of them have their ceremonial daggers drawn and ready to attack.
Bring it, you crazed cultist shits.
2 of the cultists succeed in their attacks with a 19 and 18. The last cultist rolled an 11. Wow, this is funny. So one cultist rolled a 1 with a +1 for 2 damage, brought down to 1 due to your rage. While the other cultist rolled a 6 +1 for a 7, brought down to 3. Overall, you take 4 damage, Donald.
Hey, that tickled.
Joe, it's now your turn.
Then it's time to heal Taz. Ben, I'm going to turn to Taz, and I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Healing Word on Taz. I rolled a 2+3 for 5 health.
Jaryu, you heal Taz for 5 health. Taz starts to stir and wakes up, eyes bloodshot and still weakened. He slowly rises to his feet, but he's feeling the pain. Taz, unfortunately, is suffering from 1 level of exhaustion. He had 1 HP prior to your healing, but he's currently at 6 HP.
Oh no, Taz, I don't think that's going to be enough healing, and I don't want to lose him this early on. I can't help his weird condition of exhaustion, but I can cast Healing Word at level 2 as my main action. Much better, I got a 4 and a 3+3 from my mods for a total of 10 ho. I then look at Taz and say, Taz, are you okay? What happened?
Taz gets up to his feet and begins to talk.
I wanted to ask you guys the same thing. When everything got bright, you all passed out on the floor. I was worried, but I couldn't move Skull Smasher, so I stayed to keep a watch of you guys.
Taz rolled a 15 for initiative. For the following turn, for now, he'll take his turn. But unfortunately, due to his exhaustion, he is rolling everything with disadvantage.
Guys, we need to help Taz as much as we can. I don't know how he got exhausted, but we'll worry about that after the battle.
Taz is going to look around the battle and see the enemies before him. Upon seeing the shadow that's only 15 feet away from George, Taz will take aim and fire off a radiant sunbolt at its direction. Even with disadvantage, he rolled 2 13s for a 17 total. The attack hits and it deals 5 damage, doubled into 10 due to the shadow's weakness. The shadow feels the burning light from Taz's sunbolt and its form begins to falter. Seeing the effectiveness of his attack, Taz will spend one of his last 2 key points to fire off another radiant bolt at the same shadow. But sadly, he rolled a 7 total for his highest roll, missing the shadow as his radiant bolt hits the cave wall. That will be all for Taz's turn. It is now the shadow's turn. Shadow C, that took damage from Taz, will use his bonus action to hide into the darkness behind leaving sight from the party. Shadow B begins to moan an ominous cry, and its form starts to twist and mangle, reshaping itself into a much bigger shadow, now appearing wider and dark, and more darkness cascades from its form. Then Shadow C reappears next to Shadow B, and it goes into Shadow B. Screams and unholy shouts can be heard from the shadow creature now, and what steps out is a cultist fanatic. Shadow C then gets shot out of Shadow B and stops right in front of Taz. It lunges for Taz with a strength drain attack. Luckily, the shadow missed as Taz sidesteps out of the shadow's attack. It's now the lone cultist's turn, and he's going to run towards George and go for an attack with his ceremonial dagger. He rolled an 11.
Oh shit, yeah, that hits roll damage.
The cultist deals 3 damage to you, Bush.
Okay, it could have been way worse.
The cultist fanatic rolled in 15 for initiative. Top of the round, and it's now your turn, Bush.
Great. Reading my spells and cantrips, I stumbled upon this little tidbit. Ben, I'm going to turn to the shadow since it's between me and Taz, and I'm going to use my cantrip True Strike and attack the shadow.
What are you cooking, Bush?
Yeah, doesn't it have resistance to most physical attacks?
That's true, Joey, but that would only matter if I was doing physical damage. But reading on True Strike, it states here, guided by a flash of magical insight, you make 1 attack with the weapon used in the spell's casting. The attack uses your spell casting ability for the attack and damage rolls instead of using strength or dexterity. If the attack deals damage, it can be radiant damage or the weapon's normal damage type, your choice. And for this instance, I'm choosing to do radiant damage. But first, let's roll to see if I hit. Hot dog, I got a 15 plus 5 for a dirty 20 to hit.
Roll damage, Bush.
Fuck yeah, I rolled a 6 for damage plus 5 due to True Strike, allowing me to use my spell attack damage for a total of 11 damage, but since it's radiant damage and the shadow is weak to it, I'll be doing 22 points of damage to the shadow.
You finished it off, Bush. Go ahead and tell us how George does it.
Dang it, I thought I had the upper hand having killed a shadow, but George is just stacking bodies.
Ben, still angered by the condition we found Taz, and George will pour his magical energy into his quarterstaff. Though a wizard, George can't forget the ways of man from his world. He grabs his quarterstaff, having never used one before. He holds it like a bat, the staff glowing with radiant energy. As he swings the bat, George yells, "You're out, bub." The quarterstaff, glowing bright yellow, connects with the shadow, and it sends the being flying through the cave as it dissolves into nothingness. Return to the shadow realm. You're not cut out for the duelist kingdom, as I make a nod to Joe or you.
He did a Yu-Gi-Oh thing, that's my guy Bush.
Creative kill, Bush. I had completely forgotten True Strike dealt radiant damage. Next up is Obama.
First, I'm going to move 10 feet and attack the cultist that harmed George. I rolled a 12 plus 5 for 17 total. I'll deal 8 damage to the cultist, but since George is here next to me, I get to use sneak attack, dealing an extra 6 damage, ending the cultist's life. I'll then move closer to Skull Smasher, and then I'll use my bonus action to throw a psychic blade towards cultist B. Shoot, I rolled a 2 for 7 total. I don't think that hits.
Brock, you make quick work of the cultist that attacked your ally, but as you move closer into the fray, you throw your second psychic dagger at the cultist and aim a bit too high, missing the cultist entirely. It's now cultist A and B's turn. They both will rush towards you, Brock, ready to attack.
Not so fast, Ben. They are leaving my line of sight. I want to use an opportunity attack. Can I use it on both?
Sadly, no, Donald. You're limited to 1 reaction per turn, but either of them can set off, so really it just boils to which enemy you wish to attack.
That's so lame, but fair. I will admit, fine, I'll attack cultist A. Oh yeah, I rolled a 17 and I'm dealing 14 damage to the cultist. Add another kill for Skull Smasher.
Cultist A attempting to attack Brock gets cut down in half by Skull Smasher's attack. Cultist B is able to get through and succeeds in his attack, rolling a 21 total, dealing 4 damage to Brock.
It could have been worse.
Next up is the Cultist Fanatic, who will rush 20 feet towards George and slash George with its packed blade. Sadly, it rolled an 8 total, missing its attack. It's then going to use its bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon. The spectral weapon will appear between Jaryu and Brock in the form of a huge ceremonial dagger. It's then going to make an attack on you, Jaryu.
Oh, butterscotch.
The attack lands with an 18 and it deals 5 damage to you, Jaryu. Now it's Taz's turn. Taz is going to close the gap and engage with the Cultist Fanatic, going in with an unarmed strike. He barely hits the Fanatic with a 13 total, dealing 4 damage. Then Taz will spend his final key point and use a flurry of kitty blows, allowing him to use 2 unarmed strikes against the Cultist Fanatic. Taz is going to use one of his luck points to cancel one of the disadvantage rolls. Only one of his bonus attacks hits with a 19 total, and he deals 5 damage to the Fanatic. Next, the second group of cultists, D, E, and F, are going to all make an attack on your Donald.
Wake me up when a real threat appears.
Okay, I don't know if DnD Beyond is listening to your threats or what, but 2 of the cultists missed their attacks. The one that did manage to hit you deals a total of 2 damage, brought down to 1.
Ben, I stare at the cultists after their attacks, and I simply say to them, I'm getting fucking hungry.
The cultists begin to look uneasy after hearing your words. A mysterious force is felt through the cave. Something further down is bellowing. It isn't loud, but its presence is heavy. It causes the shadow to take its turn ahead of you, Joe. As the force empowers the shadow, allowing it to take its turn. It's going to bring forth 2 more cultists. Then for its bonus action, it's going to disengage, hide into the darkness, and leave the cavern. A noise of howls, screams, and unholy terrors can be heard as it leaves, fading into the darkness. For time's sake, the new cultist will get the Shadow's initiative roll and will rush to the aid of the cultist. Fanatic Cultist Y will make an attack on Brock and Nymphs. Cultist Z will make an attack on Taz. Both of them miss, completely, rolling a 10 and 9. It's now your turn, Jaryu.
Dang it, there's nothing we can do against that shadow leaving. We're in a tough spot, but I got an idea. Ben, first I'll move towards Taz and I'll use my bonus action and cast Healing Word level 1 on Taz. I rolled a 3+3 for my mods, healing Taz for 6 health.
Nice, that brings up Taz HP to 22.
Okay, good. Now for my attack option, I'm going to get in between Taz and George and I'll attack the Cultist Fanatic with my rapier. I'll begin to wave my rapier quickly as fast as I can, making a performance out of my attack. This display of martial prowess and speed will allow me to use my mobile flourish. I can expand one of my bardic inspiration slots and increase my walking speed by 10 fort. Now if my attack hits, I can roll one of my bardic dice to not only increase my damage output, and I can push my target 5 feet plus whatever I rolled on my bardic dice. I can then use up my reaction for the turn and move within 5 feet of my target.
Good thinking, Joey. If you roll high enough, you can get the Fanatic out of range of Taz and George.
Shit, I rolled a 5.
No, you didn't, Joe. Ben, I'll use up my port and 20 to give Jaryu a nat 20 roll.
Let's fucking go.
Holy shit, man.
Thank you, Bushy, I owe you 1. With a nat 20, you'll roll damage then. So it's 12 damage from the max for the first roll. I rolled a 4+4 for 8, dealing 20 damage from the attack. Woohoo, thank you, George. I got a 3, dealing 23 damage to the Cultist Fanatic, and I'll push them 8 feet forward from us, giving us some breathing room. I'll move up, stopping just before giving the Cultist an opportunity attack.
Well played, gents. That was a good use of your port in 20, or will it? Only time will tell. After healing Taz for a bit more health, enough to safely say he's in a good spot. Then shortly forward, you move towards the Cultist Fanatic, closing the gap, and Jaryu, you slash your blade so fast the Cultist can't even seem to catch up to its speed. Each flick of your wrist making music in the air as whooshing and wishing sounds move in a melodic pattern. It leaves a calm resonance around you. Then suddenly you strike, catching the Fanatic completely off guard, striking fast and hard across its chest, exposing meat and dealing critical damage to the enemy. A splash of red paints the floor, your blade too fast to even allow any of the blood to cling on. The Fanatic then gets pushed back 8 FT and you move up, joining your allies in the fray. What a turn, Joe. It's now back to Bush for his turn, and we're at the top of the round after a crazy turn.
Good job, Joe. Dab me up out of game.
That's my guy.
Sorry, Donald, there's a chance this might kill the Fanatic, but I don't want to take chances.
Damn it, we'll get you next time. Just wait till I get my extra attack.
Ben, I'm going to cast Chromatic Orb level 1 on the Cultist Fanatic. I rolled a 9+5 for 14 total. Does that hit?
Yup, you passed the AC, not by a lot, but enough to hit roll for damage.
I rolled an 8, 4, and a 5 for a 17 total. The orb won't bounce, but maybe that finishes off the fanatic?
How do you want to do a bush?
Hell yeah, okay, easy. I'll stick my palms out, angering, filling my eyes as a ball of fire begins to form as I shout, eat my chromatic orb. It then hurls out of my palm, propelling fast towards the fanatic, lighting up the cave a bit from the darkness. It then explodes on the fanatic, leaving only a black and charred corpse behind. Booyah. Another one bites the dust.
All that remains now are the cultists. You're up, Brock.
I'm going to attack the cultist Y with a psychic dagger. I rolled a 14 bend. Does that hit?
It does. Go ahead and roll damage.
I rolled a 5 plus 3 from my mods plus 2 from Feria Morania for a total of 10 damage, ending the cultist's life. I'm then going to attack Cultist B with my bonus action with my second psychic dagger. Crap, I rolled a 3 plus 5 for an 8 total.
That misses. Brock's Spellblade is able to easy dispatch the cultist Y with no issues at all. Your dagger pierces through its heart, bringing an end to its life, leaving no wound behind, just internal bleeding and the stopping of its heart as it crumbles to the ground. Blood begins to pool around it. As you then attempt to attack the next cultist B, you're unsuccessful as it sidesteps your attack. It's now Donald's turn.
Finally, I'm going to attack Cultist D with my great axe. I rolled a 13 plus 5 for 18 total. I'm going to roll damage. I'm pretty sure the cultist's AC either 12 or 13. I rolled a 9 for damage plus 5 for 14 total. Ben, I'm then going to use Cleave, allowing me to make another attack on a creature within 5 feet. The damage doesn't get any of my mods, only my rage increase. This time I rolled an unholy 20. That definitely hits. Come on, give me max damage. Oof, it's not max damage, but it is a 10 plus 2 from rage for 12 total.
Skull Smasher, you grab your axe, and with rage still coursing through your veins, you add an extra amount of power in this attack as you cleave through two cultists in one swing. Their torsos separating from their waists as the power behind your swing causes them to fly back a few feet as they spew blood and guts all along the cave's floor. It's now Cultist B turn, and it's going to make an attack on you, Brock. The Cutlass lunges at you with its ceremonial dagger, but you easily evade its attack. It's rolled a 9, and Brock, your AC is 14.
Yep, that's right. No damage taken this turn.
It's now Taz's turn. He's going to make an attack on Cultist X. Dang, Taz rolled a nat 20, but since he has disadvantage on everything, he ends up with an unnatural 20 that hits, and he deals damage. He's then going to use his bonus action to use another unarmed strike on Cultist Z. But he misses, rolling with a 10 total. The cultist takes a huge blow that hits hard, leaving him almost breathless. But the adrenaline from battle, or maybe the exhaustion that Taz is suffering, allows the cultist to evade the second blow. It's Cultist Z turn, and it's going to attack Taz in response. The attack hits with an 18, and the cultist is going to deal 5 damage to Taz.
No Taz.
Fear not, Bush. Taz isn't out yet. Taz is going to use his reaction deflect attack. This allows him to reduce the damage he would take from a bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing attack by 1d10 plus mods. In Taz's case, his mods give him a +6 bonus, so whatever he rolls, he's deflecting the damage to 0. The cultist strikes true at Taz, but just as the blade is about to connect, Taz, through his years of training and meditation, takes a deep breath, and with one swift strike that illuminates with his order's holy light, he punches the sword from the side, deflecting the attack, completely forcing the cultist to appear baffled.
Okay, that was pretty badass.
Taz is my goat.
It's now Cultist F turn, and after seeing the carnage that was its ally's death, it attempts to run away from you, Donald. Terrified that a fate similar to theirs will soon follow suit, desperate to escape, maybe it knows what's up ahead.
Not on my watch. I'm going to use my reaction and use an opportunity attack on it.
Donald, wouldn't it be good to see if we can get some information from him?
I'm sorry, did you say something? I went ahead and rolled a 17 plus 5 for 22 total. I saved us the trouble and rolled for damage, and I got an 11 total.
Well, we should have seen that coming.
As the cultist attempts to flee for its life, Donald is able to react fast enough and cut the being in half, its body dropping to the side as all its organs are exposed and spill around it. A mess of a carcass remains draped in purple robes. It's now Joe's turn.
Ben, I'm going to approach Cultist Z with my rapier drawn and go for an attack. I rolled a 19 plus 4 for 23 total. I rolled a 5 plus 4 for 9 total damage. I'm positive this kills it.
It does.
Ben Joryu will slash fiercely with his rapier focus, and you're ready with one quick strike. I slash my blade so fast you don't even see the strike. Then suddenly blood spurts from across its chest as its eyes roll back into its head. It lays dead.
Only one cultist remains, and it's now your turn, Bush.
Okay, there's just one left. Guys, let's not kill this one. Let's see what he knows. Ben, I'll move 25 feet to go around and avoid Cultist B. Then I'll turn to Skull Smasher and say, hey, big guy, let's just save this competition for another time. For now, can you do me a favor and grab that guy? Let's see what he knows. If he's not helpful, you can cut him down. I'll then use my help action to aid Donald in the skill check if he chooses to help.
Ben, I'll look at the cultists and tell them it's over, bud. We've eliminated all of your allies and you're left alone for death. Help us and we can see about letting you go once this is all over.
Obama, roll a persuasion check.
I rolled an 8 plus 5 from mods for 13 total. Does that pass?
Obama the Cultist has gone through indoctrination into an unholy path. You have no idea how deep the roots of manipulation are ingrained into this man. Your words seem to enter one ear and leave through the other, as it gives no reaction to your words at all. It simply raises its dagger.
Crap, maybe this guy won't be able to tell us anything.
Okay, so maybe he'll talk. Maybe he won't. My instincts tell me to attack, but there's no harm in trying. I'll simply bear hug the cultist, and if he refuses, I'll turn him around and tombstone pile drive his head into the ground.
Okay, since George is giving you the help action, normally that would give you advantage on a check, but in this case, we'll say George is helping you actually grapple the cultist, so the cultist will roll with disadvantage. What's the saving throw, Donald?
It's 13 total.
It rolled an 8 total, so Donald, you're able to grapple the cultist, and it now must succeed in that check on its turn or continue to be grappled. It's now the cultist's turn, and it attempts to break free, but fails with an 11. Taz comes to help Donald with the grapple, giving the cultist disadvantage next turn again.
Then I'll come around and ask the cultist, what do you want with RockWish? Why are you here? What's further down?
Roll a persuasion or intimidation roll, Joe, since at this point you're not asking friendly, but depending on your bonus stat, you can choose either or.
I rolled a 17 plus 5 for a 22 total. That has to work.
The cultist turns to you, Jaryu. For a brief moment, you see the eyes of a human being stare back at you. It seems like your words have gotten through to him, but that came at a price. As quickly as his eyes turn normal, they soon turn blood red as they explode. The cultist now dead, as its eye sockets are empty with blood and brain matter spewing out. It seems for this cult there is no way out. That brings an end to the combat, with all enemies dispatched or no longer present.
Hell yeah, boys, we did it. That was a pretty good one.
Thanks for following the plan, Donald.
Remember, our competition isn't over yet. Let's extend it to the entirety of the festival.
Sounds good, man.
Not gonna lie, I feel incredibly guilty that I caused that guy's death. A strike from my blade in the right spot would have been a quick and painless death.
It's not your fault, Joryu. We had no clue. Besides, this man choose down this dark path. Power is alluring, but to lose yourself entirely and follow the words of a dark being is a foolish endeavor. Somewhere in life, he choose this, and sadly, this is the consequences of his choices.
Thanks, man. I know you're right that death was just brutal.
To be fair, Joryu, our attacks are all pretty brutal.
True, but that's in the midst of battle. There's a certain thrill and art to it.
Oddly, I know what you mean.
As you guys chatter, Taz falls to his knees. His exhaustion is really taking a toll on him.
Oh shit now, Taz.
Ben, I think it's safe to say we all rush to Taz's aid.
The whole party surrounds Taz, and as he is about to speak, we shall end it right there.
Oh, come on, Ben.
Bro, you're gonna keep me at the edge of my seat till the next time. What even happened to Taz?
We went on those vision quests, seeing those strange events, and when we returned, Taz was fighting alone.
He was in that same form as he was in those visions, but in there he fell. I fear for the worse.
You guys are gonna have to just wait. Till next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you who likes, comments, and shares the video, as it helps the channel grow. We'll see you guys in the next session.
Guys, I got some briskets that are ready to eat. If you guys are hungry, I figured Donald is.
Hey, man, is that a fat joke? You're not wrong, I am hungry, but still.
I'm hungry too. I'm down bushy.
That sounds great, George. Donald, is that going to stop you from eating some?
Of course not, I'm hungry. Come on, Ben, let's get going.
I haven't even agreed to it, but yeah, let's go eat. That was a much longer session than I planned, but no complaints here. We're getting closer to an important part. Let's go, my guys. Everyone watching, have a good night.